Burkina Faso isn't just rising, it's rewriting the rules. What President Traoré is building has stunned the world. In this video, we reveal 10 groundbreaking projects that are reshaping the nation from the ground up. Starting with something as simple and powerful as a tomato. For years, Burkina Faso's farmers watched their harvests rot or return as overpriced imports. But that cycle ends now. With an $8 million processing plant, Traoré is flipping the script, factory by factory. Let's dive into the revolution. The facility is more than just an industrial location. It is a weapon for food sovereignty, situated in an agro-rich area with a high tomato yield. With the ability to produce tons of tomato paste every day, it reduces Burkina Faso's dependency on imported food items, especially those from China and Europe, which used to dominate the country's consumer shelves. The local economy retains thousands of francs for each ton handled. A household earns security with each box that is not wasted. The effects extend well beyond the boundaries of the factory. Already, more than 150 direct employment have been generated, ranging from lab technicians to machine operators. However, that is only the start. Across the supply chain, small-scale farmers, local package manufacturers, transporters, and crate suppliers now contribute to a formalized, structured market that reinvests nationally, buys locally, and pays fairly. However, it's not simply the economics that make this endeavor revolutionary. It's the underlying idea. Eat what you grow and produce what you eat. The facility was not constructed under the terms of foreign aid under Traoré's administration. It was designed with the long-term objective of making Burkina Faso the agro-industrial center of the Sahel. And it was funded and carried out with state-backed investments supported by partners affiliated with the BRICS. The factory's requirements are being met by nearby agricultural training facilities, which instruct farmers on when to plant, how to increase production, and which cultivars to use. In order to ensure that this is not a one-off facility, but rather the first node in a nationwide network of value-added agro-industries, young people are being trained not only to farm, but also to engineer food systems. Burkina Faso simply transformed a basic fruit into a national strategy in a world that is fixated on importing solutions. However, if tomatoes may turn into gold, what happens if the routes that transport them traverse international borders and propel local empires? The $120 million corridor is on its way. Markets require roads, and Burkina Faso is constructing them for control as much as convenience. The Ivory Coast's $120 million Bobo Dulaso motorway is more than just a road. The corridor of sovereignty has a lot on the line. This massive infrastructure project links a once landlocked economy to the Atlantic, local producers to ports, traders to buyers, and the second largest city in Burkina Faso to the Ivorian border. It implies faster transportation, fewer intermediaries, and access to global demand for farmers delivering processed goods like tomato paste. However, the road transports much than just goods. It has a strategy. The highway, which was built for regional integration, directly challenges the historical choke points that kept Burkina Faso reliant on other countries for access to trade. It reduces delivery times, lowers transportation costs, and unleashes the potential of southern trade channels that have long been overlooked in favor of French-influenced northern lines. In contrast to previous megaprojects, this one is based on domestic goals, constructed with local labor, supported by regional partners, and closely linked to Burkina Faso's ambitions for agricultural and industrial growth. It's not a project for vanity. It is a vein in the national recovery's body. Along the path, communities are developing quickly. Emerging are rest areas, marketplaces, housing communities, and logistical centers. Employment is generated. The goods are in motion. Additionally, Burkina Faso is setting the pace rather than following it for the first time in decades. A nation that was previously known for its remoteness is now constructing its way out of it, village by village and mile by mile. But without depending on imported oil or deteriorating infrastructure, how do you power all this movement, all these factories, clinics, and homes? We have Yalin for that. Burkina Faso's most ambitious energy project to date is the Yalin Solar Power Program. With support from the World Bank and the Green Climate Fund, this project is bringing power to more than 300,000 people in more than 150 villages for the first time. However, this goes beyond simply turning on lights. It's about seizing the moment. Yalin is installing standalone solar systems and mini-grids in houses, clinics, schools, and marketplaces, locations that the national grid has never bothered to reach. This means that vaccines can be kept in a rural health center without worrying about spoiling. It implies that classes continue after the sun sets in a classroom. It entails lights, refrigeration, and extended hours for a local business. More importantly, this is decentralized, clean power. No fumes from diesel. No bills for imported oil. No unexpected shutdowns. Locally skilled experts are installing and maintaining solar panels, ensuring energy independence and generating jobs. Yalin is more than just a village light. Rewiring the economy is what it is. The ability of Burkina Faso to industrialize, educate, and digitize on its own terms increases with the expansion of electricity. Yalin is more than just a project. It is a movement driven by light and created for emancipation, with intentions to spread to hundreds more towns. However, a country cannot exist without its citizens being healed, despite its energy and highways. What occurs, therefore, when a hospital takes on the role of the new temple of sovereignty? Bobo's hospital is born out of that. Once a country is in power, its citizens must be protected. Furthermore, healing is no longer a luxury reserved for the wealthy or the capital in Burkina Faso. The Bobo Dulaso Regional University Hospital, a representation of both health and sovereignty, rises from the earth in the southwest. This hospital, which is expected to rank among the most cutting-edge in the nation, was constructed with the sole goal of providing contemporary healthcare to those who have never received it. The Southwest endured decades of suffering in secret, with understaffed facilities, antiquated equipment, and lengthy travel times to access quality care. That time is coming to an end. There is no patch task here. The system has been reset. In addition to providing medical care, the hospital will teach the next generation of Burkina physicians and nurses, reducing the need for the nation to travel overseas for medical care or depend on outside experts. Yalin's clean energy will power the facility's digital health systems, specialized departments, and surgical units, which will handle anything from emergency surgeries to maternal care. It's not isolated either. Rural clinics will be immediately connected to the hospital's central infrastructure through the construction of new ambulance routes and data linkages. Modern medicine will not just travel to the area for the first time. It will reside there. Traoré has a strong vision for health. The first step in creating a strong nation is to ensure that its citizens remain alive, educated, and in their local communities. But humans need more than care to live. They require water. Sovereign, steady, and clean. What occurs if a country seizes control of its most vital resource? The Zakutu solution is here. Without water, houses, schools, agriculture, and hospitals cannot operate. And every drop matters in a capital city that is exploding with development and hope. Burkina Faso is constructing something significant because of this. Zakutu Dam, an initiative that aims to restore control over life itself, not merely store water. This dam, which is close to Ouagadougou, was built to alleviate the capital's ongoing water problems. Convenience is not the only consideration. It's a matter of survival. Women and children had to go kilometers when the taps ran dry during dry seasons. Water was rationed in hospitals. Companies paused. Under strain, urban life broke down. Zakutu is intended to permanently alter that. Add your voice to the total liberation of Africa by leaving a comment in the comments section below. Do not forget to like and subscribe for more informative videos like this one. Let's proceed. When the dam is finished, hundreds of thousands of city dwellers will have a reliable, clean supply of water for both residential and commercial use. In order to guarantee that water flows cleanly, it is being combined with contemporary filtering systems, solar-powered pumping stations, and modernized distribution pipelines. The resilience-first design, climate-adapted infrastructure, local workforce employment, and governance that puts public access ahead of private profiteering are what make this project unique. Water is not for export, it is for people, and the city isn't the only factor. Zakutu is a component of a larger national strategy to promote rainwater collecting and agriculture, conserve aquifers, and extend rural water infrastructure, directly linking clean water to public health and food security. Burkina Faso is decreasing reliance in all vital areas by using water from its land and energy from the sun. Where and how people live is the next question when roads and water flows are connected. Beginning with the Faso Mayo Urban Development Project, Burkina Faso is redefining the blueprint in a nation where urban sprawl was formerly associated with congested slums and brittle infrastructure. Building homes is only one aspect of this. Another is creating a future in which cities expand with power, equity, and dignity. Faso Mayo's primary goal is to build 50,000 new, reasonably priced, environmentally friendly homes that are adapted to Burkina Faso's climate and culture. However, this is not a wealthy person's real estate scam. Teachers, nurses, laborers, and families that have long been priced out of livable cities are the target population for these residences. And housing is just one aspect of it. Wide highways, public transportation hubs, green areas, and contemporary drainage systems are also part of the project. The urban plan includes playgrounds, schools, clinics, and marketplaces. The objective is straightforward. No more segregating everyday life from essential services. The approach is even more radical. Local labor and materials are being used to build Faso Mayo, which will directly boost the home economy. Construction is becoming a major source of jobs in the country as a large number of young urban designers, carpenters, electricians, and brickmakers are being taught and employed. It's national planning, not simply local planning. People are not only finding shelter when they settle into these new dwellings that are supplied with water by new dams, powered by solar systems, and connected to employment markets by new roadways. In a nation that is finally being built with them in mind, they are finally feeling like they belong. Stability is a home. A job generates revenue. However, wealth never increases in the absence of a bank that knows the people it serves. It seeps. Burkina Faso launched Burkin for this reason. It is the first state-owned bank in history, established to empower its people rather than make money off of them. For many years, only a select few had access to financial services. The market was dominated by international banks that catered to safe bets, foreign trade, and urban elites. Unbanked, unprotected, and invisible, rural communities, small companies, and the informal economy were left behind. That story is being rewritten by Burkin. The bank is intended to provide financial access well into the country's interior, with the goal of serving the average Burkinabe. Burkin provides mobile banking services, low-interest loans, microcredit for women, basic accounts, and staff who speak the local languages in both urban neighborhoods and rural farming areas. It is more than a bank. It serves as a tool for economic inclusion. Startup funding is now accessible to young entrepreneurs. Loans are available to farmers who want to purchase equipment or increase their productivity. Families can save money by not having to spend hours traveling to the city. It's not charity. Strategic national empowerment is what it is. Additionally, Burkin has been included into other state changes. Customized mortgage packages promote housing initiatives. Group finance is being given to agricultural cooperatives. Additionally, digital platforms enable safe transactions throughout the nation, supported by the forthcoming national data centers. The financial system isn't hurting the poor for the first time. It is effective for them. However, providing access to citizens is only the first step. A modern nation cannot be built on paper. Digital control is national control in a world where power is transmitted via fiber optic connections and cloud servers. For this reason, Burkina Faso is constructing the infrastructure necessary to take control of its digital destiny, in addition to bringing its people together. The $150 million Digital Transformation Acceleration Initiative PAC Digital, which aims to usher in a new era of governance, service delivery, and economic opportunity, lies at the heart of this revolution. This change will shortly be anchored by 2 national data centers, which are already more than 70% complete. These are more than just storage spaces. They are independent information strongholds built to host Burkina Faso-controlled civil registers, government documents, financial information, educational programs, and medical databases. Public services are shifting to the internet thanks to this digital backbone. From a mobile device, citizens will be able to apply for IDs, land titles, permits, and even school enrollment. No more red tape, no more bribery, no more lines. However, PAC Digital is engaged in more than just digitizing government. The digital divide is being closed. At least 500 underserved communities, ranging from remote Sahelian villages to recently developed urban areas, will soon have network service. Programs for digital literacy are preparing women, small business owners, and young people to succeed in the internet economy. In order to safeguard user data, promote innovation, and prevent foreign spying, new legal frameworks are also being established. A new digital ecosystem is developing as a result of Burkina's integration into the system and the online availability of public services. One in which local servers, local code, and local control are more powerful than ties to Paris or Washington. You can create smart cities, start a national bank, and digitize the government. However, the change won't be complete if people continue to wake up without drinking water. This is a reality that Traoré's government in Burkina Faso is fully aware of. Because of this, one of the most subtly significant changes is taking place just beneath our feet: the Urban Water Sector Initiative. This World Bank-backed project has already provided piped water to more than 610,000 people and enhanced sanitation for an additional 440,000. But this isn't just another temporary solution financed by donations. It's a component of a larger plan to ensure that everyone has access to clean water and sanitary facilities, rather than just a select few. The initiative installs contemporary water pipelines, filtration stations, and inexpensive connections to homes and public institutions, focusing on both urban sprawl and dense informal neighborhoods. It's changing everyday life in rapidly expanding cities like Ouagadougou and Bobo Dulaso. No need to rely on expensive water cellars, carry jerrycans for miles, or get sick from unclean sources. Additionally, sanitation is being physically reconstructed from the ground up. Waste treatment systems and sanitary restrooms are currently being installed in marketplaces, schools, and clinics. To lessen illness outbreaks and flooding during the season, urban drainage is being rebuilt. This project's integration with digital systems further increases its efficacy. Mobile platforms are increasingly used to manage water usage, service complaints, and payment tracking, eliminating inefficiencies and connecting citizens with service providers directly. Clean water is now a pipeline that runs straight from the national will to the taps of every home, not a promise. Let's move on to Burkina Faso's rural areas. Wealth grazes in fields rather than bank accounts in rural Burkina Faso. Beyond tradition, livestock is a source of power, protein, inheritance, and currency. It was also neglected for far too long, caught in unstructured markets, disease outbreaks, and low yields. This is why the Livestock Sector Development Support Project, a silent revolution on 4 legs, was started by Traoré's administration with assistance from the World Bank. This is about modernizing an entire economy, not just growing herds. The project is bringing knowledge, infrastructure, and money to a sector that provides for millions of Burkinabe, from veterinary care to commercial feed manufacturing. Province-wide herd health initiatives, such as vaccination campaigns and the development of mobile veterinary teams, are being expanded. By itself, this has significantly decreased animal mortality, improving the reliability of the food supply and income. However, the aspiration is more ambitious. In order to turn raw materials into products that are ready for the market, new processing facilities are being built for milk, meat, and hides. To reduce waste and increase trade windows, cold chain logistics and storage facilities are being implemented. Additionally, small herders are now able to obtain loans through targeted credit programs, many of which are provided through Burkin, to invest in improved breeds, feed systems, and business expansion. Commercial, resilient, and strategic are replacing informal and susceptible. Other national objectives also cross with the livestock project. It boosts Burkina Faso's ability to export regionally, promotes food security, and empowers rural women who frequently care for tiny ruminants. Cattle and goats are becoming more than just means of subsistence. They are becoming engines of economic growth as a result of the expansion of cross-border trade channels and the rise in value-added industries. Furthermore, the animal that formerly stood for subsistence today represents something much more radical given the existence of all the systems, from roads to energy, water, and digital banking. A country that will not be taken lightly. Burkina Faso is no longer waiting for change. It's building it with its own hands. From solar power and independent financial systems to food processing and futuristic cities, this is the blueprint for true sovereignty. This nation is rising, quietly, steadily, and with clear intent. And the world can't help but take notice. So what do you think? Is Burkina Faso outpacing the West in redefining progress on its own terms? Tell us what you think in the comments section below, and please subscribe for more.